Felt a little weak there. Anyway, I'm gonna hide from the camera today just because, like I said, my health has not been good this summer. So this is just kind of a first impression sort of video, sort of first impression of some fragrances. So a small fragrance sample haul to keep my channel active fragrance wise. And I know I made a video talking about fragrance I recently smelled as well. Was that Rogue smoking, and that was basically I would kind of compare that to By Killian's Love mixed with like a lot of pink pepper, pixie stick, and Initio's Rehab. Kind of mix those together and get a little mix of that. So what else have I smelled recently? Well, recently I got around to finally smelling Franck Boclet or Franck Boclet, whatever it is, tobacco. What would I say? I've been looking forward to smelling this one for a long time, but it's just been a while before getting to smelling it. I know it's supposed to be a clone of Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, but that is one of my favorite fragrances of all time, so that doesn't necessarily bother me. I do think it smells like Tobacco Vanille. I would say offhand, first impression of this is it smells like if you like the opening of Tobacco Vanille without getting to all that kind of gooey, chocolatey, marshmallow yumminess, gourmand sort of stuff. If you like, if you want a different spin on Tobacco Vanille's sort of more opening and mid, I guess you could say, but with, a plum and a slightly harsher version of it. So sort of like the beginning and mid of Tobacco Vanille, I guess you could say, but plum version and a little bit harsher that never gets to that yummy vanilla gooey gourmand dry down. That's how I would describe this. I do think it smells good. I can say, like I said, I've been sick a lot lately, and sometimes when I'm sick, you get really sensitive to smells, and this is something that has made me sensitive though when I have not been feeling good. But I do think it smells good. It's kind of that awkward thing of I do want a plum fragrance, but I already own Tobacco Vanille. I guess offhand, I was thinking of clones of Tobacco Vanille, and there's also Tabac Rouge, right? Right. Tabac Rouge, is that what it is? From Fadons, whatever that is. And at first I was thinking, I think Tabac Rouge smells better than this. But then when I put them both on hands to smell one day, I actually think maybe this one smells better. But my Tabac Rouge Fadon sample is so many years old. I think I smelled it around the time it came out. It smells a little off. But anyway, that's my initial impression of that. What else have I smelled recently? I have smelled Mont Tobacco. Props to Crystal Fragrances. That's where I got some of these samples. I used to think Oswald was my favorite sample place, but for the time being, I think Crystal Fragrances might be my favorite sample place. Didn't get paid to say that, but I'm going to say that for now. Sometimes people ask me, where would you buy fragrance samples? But anyway, tried this Ormond Jane Mont Tobacco. Tried this a couple times. One time I smelled it, I could smell some of the negative reviews of this say that it just smells like bug spray, and I could smell the bug spray. And then I tried it in a different weather temperature, and it smelled better. So my first impression of this is I don't know yet, but I have gotten the negative thing. Some people think that it smells like fucking bug spray, and I actually got that the first time. Another one, I smelled this Rihanna's Perfume, the vanilla tobacco. Like other reviewers, I think have said that when you see vanilla tobacco, if you think this is going to be a Tobacco Vanille clone, it's not. So don't think anything like that. So I agree with everyone else. What I would say this is, and the other Rihanna fragrance I've smelled, there's also cherry on top, so I'll get to that. But this is, and I think they say it is, this is very oily. So if you don't like oily fragrances, I don't make fragrances, so I don't know what kind of oil they use. I don't want to act like I'm a note expert, but this does smell very oily to me, like a sort of oily perfume that some indie people make, you know what I mean? Whatever it might be. If I were going to describe this, when I had worn this and tried this, this reminds me of something like walking in, I would imagine, a resort restroom. You walk into a resort restroom, and the resort restroom is, well, I guess it'd be, everything is made out of wood, but a darker wood than this, right? And it's kind of like dimly lit. It's kind of like a chocolatey kind of wood look. And because this even has like a urinal cleaning sort of soapy kind of smell to it. But in this kind of high class resort restroom, there's also like a tropical plant there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a vibe. I mean, is there tobacco in this? I guess maybe a little bit. I can smell a little bit of the cocoa. It has a little bit of earthiness, kind of like some indie perfumes that have kind of a sort of a slightly cocoa dusting, earthy kind of smell to it. A little bit of that tropical plant that is in a restroom. Again, misleading name. Would I wear it? I mean, maybe. I don't think I would buy it, but I don't think it's bad. But I do think it's a misleading name. I do agree with that. The other one that I've smelled from them is Cherry on Top. I think compared to, I'm not gonna say that actually. What would I say? This I do think this smells good. I get a. I was actually trying this one again today. I do smell the cherry in this more so than when you think of this vanilla and tobacco. I don't smell a ton of vanilla and tobacco in this. In this, I can smell a more cherry and vanilla kind of smell. This has kind of a. This also smells oily, and it almost kind of reminds me of if you had like a cherry or a vanilla kind of body suntan oil lotion that you would put on yourself or something like that. Kind of like a oil lotion, oil suntan lotion or something like that. It also has a bit of it. There's like a warmth to this fragrance, and it kind of reminds me of, and you know, I've smelled so many freaking fragrances throughout the years. It's hard to say. I'd have to go through my collection, but it's kind of giving me a bit of that bubbly warmth of a vanilla, like a very warm, bubbly vanilla, kind of like I think there's an MFK fragrance that has kind of a bubbly warmth, and it also there's a Montal one offhand, but anyway, yes, it's definitely oily. Smells like some kind of suntan oil, cherry vanilla lotion offhand to me. What else have I smelled? Oh, okay, so I actually smelled wood jasmine. What does wood jasmine smell like? I've seen some people say that this smells like Nasamoto's Baronda. I don't get that at all. That's completely lost on me. When I put this on paper, I only tried it, I've only tried these a couple times and I sprayed it on paper. This did, and I've been pretty sick lately, okay? So that's why, it's taken me a long time to do this because, my health is, it's been, health is going at me sometimes, but, when I put this on paper, I did get whiffs. I've seen people say that it's some of the reviews, people have said there's an animalic smell to this. I didn't get any kind of animalic smell. But when I sprayed this once, I did get a BO smell. And I was like, man, this has like a funk to it. I could see someone thinking this smells slightly funky. It goes away quick, but I did smell a slight funk to this. I'm like, oh man, does this have like a BO note? It went away quick, but I did smell a slight funk to this. After that, I do think it smells good though. I might be able to, when I do reviews, I like to make reviews of, a lot of times I don't do reviews because I want to make the reviews interesting. I don't want to do reviews just of everyone just lists off Fragranica notes and it smells like this, smells like that. That's not interesting to me, right? So I might be able to make a real review of this though, because I've kind of had some images in my mind when smelling this though. So I might do a full review of this another time, but I think it smells good. Besides that, a bit of a funky opening, but besides that, fine. Another one I've smelled is this creme de cuir. How do you say it? Ooh, I do not speak French. Les France, baguette. I'm sorry if I insulted you. What do I think this one actually smells like? Well, it just so happens another one that I smelled recently was... Is it going to focus? Is it going to focus? Come on, mate. Don't do me like that. I swear me, mom. Santa Maria's Noviella Tabacco Toscano. These actually smell kind of similar. And I saw someone else, I think there's only one person that said this has smelled similar in a review so far on Fragranica, but I totally agree. This one, and then for what it's worth, this does smell good. I think this smells good. It has kind of that, offhand, it kind of reminds me of a little bit of that tobacco kind of smell in is it Bel Antonio or something like that. It's a little musty, a little damp, but it never goes full soaked basement cardboard stuck in a damp cardboard water that got stuck on cardboard kind of thing in the basement has been left in damp in the inside of a vacuum cleaner. It never gets that musty, but I can smell a slight kind of must to this tobacco. It's a little damp, but I actually think this smells pretty good actually, believe it or not. I would I would wear this. I don't know how I would exactly describe this, but I think this smells similar. And this smells similar to creme de cuir. However you say it. I don't speak French, obviously, dude. I can barely speak English. I would say the difference between this one is though, you know, sometimes people when they make fragrance reviews say, "Oh, this smells like the best leather jacket you've ever smelled." Yeah. When I smelled this, I actually was like, "Wow, this smells like a sort of suede beige color leather purse or a very sort of suede sort of beige color leather seat, chair, sofa, whatever it might be." That's what this smells like to me. So put this scent. Should have brought some water, dude. Losing my voice. Mix that kind of, maybe it's a girl's purse or something like that. Put this kind of tobacco scent in this. Mix these together. They actually smell pretty damn similar. Of course, this is stronger, but yeah, it smells good. I do think this smells potentially boring though. I tried it a couple of times, and at one point I was like, this smells good, but I think I might get bored of this. I don't know. I would wear it though, you know what I mean? And finally, so I can save some of these samples for other stuff, I got around to smelling Olfactive Studios Luminar Blanche. You know, still for what it's worth from my house that I've smelled, I haven't smelled all the fragrances from this house, just a handful. I still like the Close-Up. Is Close-Up the cherry one? And I think the original Rio. Is it Still Life in Rio, or is it just Still Life? The original Still Life, I think it is. I'm not actually sure how I would describe this, but I will say what other reviewers have said, that the performance is abysmal. Yes, the 2 times that I tried this, the performance was abysmal. It was absolutely awful. I do think it smells fine though. And you know what? I'm normally not a big fan of you know, so many times when people describe fragrances, or like when there's like, this fragrance is supposed to represent, you know, banging 2 of your girls while driving a Ferrari, and then one girl you throw out of the Ferrari, and then whatever, blah 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 blah, and the pastel sunset glistening on your naked bodies, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever kind of bullshit thing they're talking about. Looking at this picture though, I gotta be honest, dude. I could see this picture smelling this though. So I normally don't talk about that kind of crap because I think it sounds ridiculous. But I can see this image when I smell this. Even during the dry down, I feel like I can smell. Can you hear that? Can you pick that up in ASMR? You know what I mean? Trying to make that sound. I can even smell a little bit of grittiness in this that makes me think of the sand. So that's kind of neat, but abysmal performance, I do agree. Anyway, that's my first impression of some fragrances. Again, I'll try to do more fragrance reviews, but I only have so much money for all this crap, you know what I mean? And health is not good lately, dude. So what are you going to do? That's life, right? Anyway.